Real estate wholesalers find deals. Most new wholesalers struggle with finding deals, but the truth is deals are everywhere if you know where to look. In this video, I'm going to break down exactly how wholesalers find off-market properties that investors actually want to buy. So first, let's talk about what makes a property a wholesale deal. A wholesale deal is a property kind of most likely being sold below market value. So it's a property that's going to need some repairs, potentially deferred maintenance. It's dated and it also has a motivated seller situation, right? So the sellers usually will, sell for a discount for a few different reasons. One is they need to sell fast. The property might need extensive repairs or renovations or structural damage. They might have inherited, they just don't want to deal with it. They might be tired landlords. They've had properties forever with tenant headaches where they never intended to be a landlord, and they were forced in this situation to, rent their house out. Or, they're going through some life changes like divorce, job loss, relocation, etc. So you got to find the motivation and just not the house for it to get a potential discount. So the ways to find these potential, motivational type of properties to get below, at a nice discount for an end buyer to buy like an investor is first is essentially driving for dollars. And, with that, you could look around town. Is there, as you're driving around or walking around, is there overgrown grass, boarded up windows, mail piled up, roofing issues, vacant looking homes? In the winter, has the snow maybe not been shoveled at all? You want to write down the addresses. You could skip trace the owners and then reach out via like mail, call, text, whatever contact information you get for the homeowner. And it's early on when you don't have a lot of money to purchase mailing lists and things like that, it could be a cheap, simple, effective way to do that. It just requires a lot of your time. So a lot of these are time versus money trade-offs in your marketing list that you decide to do. The next one that a lot of people can get deals from is online lead sources like Zillow, Craigslist, and Facebook Marketplace, right? We have a lot of videos on Zillow on how to find like for sale by owner listings. If you have access to the MLS, lists in the past that I've marketed to are expired listings where they might have listed a property for 3 to 6 months with an agent and sell. Way to reach out to those folks to see if they're interested in selling now. And then, there's other listings where maybe they're X days been on the market plus, you don't want to maybe come in with a lowball offer on a property that was just listed. If it's in for 30 plus days, maybe kind of entertain the offer since it's still active. You could run searches on all these online sites like Zillow and MLS. If you have access, you could search for certain keywords out there, like is it a TLC, inherited property, estate sale, things like that, needs repairs. And then obviously, if you want to manually look through stuff and not use keywords and on your search filters, properties just that have deferred maintenance, is it a 1980s, 1990s style house and hasn't been updated since? These sellers might be more flexible and open to cash offers because they're not going to get top dollar anyway, especially if the top dollar represents a newly renovated house. Another list that a lot of folks kind of look at is cold calling and texting homeowners. So once you get a list, and we'll kind of cover that later, there's different marketing lists that you could purchase. You could, call and text homeowners, obviously check local, rules around texting and do not call lists and things like that. But, as a, an investor, I've signed up for lists in the past. I'll get wholesalers reaching out to me for deals, no different, then I also get wholesalers reaching out to me for a property that I own that if, hey, are you interested in selling your property at 123 Main Street, essentially? So wholesalers will pull these lists and reach out through text messaging or phone calls. And the lists that they usually pull are around vacant properties, absentee owners, pre-foreclosures, tax delinquent, code violations, and eviction filings. So there's a lot of different online sites that offer kind of list to purchase with mailing addresses and numbers. So there's an opportunity there for you. And some people even pull lists from different real estate software that's out there. Can't speak for any of them since I don't market direct to homeowners, but there's PropStream out there, there's Batch Leads, there's Privy, there's Deal Machines, and these sites claim that they already have the list built in and they've identified motivated sellers for you. You're going to pull, then you have all the data like the property address, the phone number and text that you could skip trace that information if they don't have it, and then add that to your CRM to contact those people depending on what your marketing method is. And then and the one I've used a lot in the past when I did direct did market to home sellers, it's dated, but it's been around forever, but it's direct mail. It works. It's, I would send postcards or letters to different motivated sellers lists. And, there's tons of different lists that you can market to. Some of them were my list from Driving for Dollars, or like vacant home list, inherited and probate properties. I used to get the Courthouse. Those are great lists to market to. Tax delinquent, pre-foreclosure, high equity, owned it a long time, might be the time to sell type of property. Those are another good types of lists where someone might own it for 10 plus years. It's a drip campaign. They might not be motivated right away, but more likely to sell in the coming years. Um, so there's a lot of different direct mail techniques. You just don't want to send out one postcard or letter. You usually set up a sequence campaign, depending on the list. Maybe you just send them a letter every month or a postcard and slash letter, switch it up every other month. If it's maybe an inherited property or expired listing, you probably shorten the duration in between each postcard or letter. So those are different things to consider. Another one is just, networking with different agents out there. I've gotten deals from agents that they knew I was an investor looking to buy fixer-upper properties. And if something came across the market, they're like, hey, I could list this, but I know at the end of the day, the end buyer is going to be a buy, renovate, and resell person, or buy, renovate, and kind of landlord person. So agents then will have essentially these pocket listings where, they'll contact their investor list before they list it on the multiple listing service. So having a good relationship with an agent kind of gets you some, deal flow from them before it hits the markets where everyone sees and there's a lot of competition. So building a relationship with these agents is good to do, especially it's just long-term dividends and have a good network in your local market. And another on top of networking with agents, you should also look to network with different contractors, property managers, title companies. Get even right. These are people that uh, see deals all the time. The title companies can connect you with the different investors and agents out there. Contractor and property managers might know of distressed landlords out there, or a contractor might be working on a home for someone that's looking to sell soon. It's a way to get in there, before the kind of work is kind of being worked on. So, talking with, networking with those folks is potential lead sources as well. You could also network with other wholesales on joint venture deals, where one wholesaler might have a deal property that they find, and you could kind of come in and connect them with a buyer, and you guys potentially could split the assignment fee. I've worked with those things in the past. They can be beneficial as well. And then, lastly, also, I mentioned this briefly, but there's plenty of public records out there and courthouse records that you go to for motivated sellers, right? You could get divorce filings from there. You could get probate records. You could get code violations. You could get tax liens. These are people that are usually fall under one of those motivational categories that we talked about earlier. Great different lists. Obviously, your message a lot of times you want to, gears to be a little bit different depending on who you're talking to. We could marketing is its whole other course and class that we could kind of cover as a wholesaler that you have to be learning successful at. But understanding your list, what their pain points are, and motivations is a way to craft your message for the different lists. Now, to recap, the success really with wholesaling is just consistency. If you sum it up into one word, right? It's a numbers game. You're going to get a lot of no's, but you got to be persistent and consistent with your marketing. You can't just send one letter, one postcard, one text, one phone call. It's a multi follow-up campaign asking for referrals, have a marketing plan basically on how many daily calls or texts you're going to make or letters you're going to send, and basically track your key performance indicators to make sure you're getting those number of phone calls, the appointment sets and contracts, houses under contracts, and your assignment fees. So you got to really set it up as a marketing and lead gen business if you're going to be a successful wholesaler. Now, what not to do, a few tips, just don't rely on one of these things up here. Like just don't rely on the Zillow or the MLS, right? You don't, you got to spend time and have kind of multiple angles to find these deals, and you can't be afraid to talk to people. That's where the deals come from. So, final takeaway for anyone here is that, deals aren't found, right? They're created through effort, consistency, conversations, and a robust marketing plan. And wholesalers who learn to find these motivated sellers are always going to get that deal flow. And as long as they know their numbers, they'll be able then to assign that contract to investor to purchase it. So if you want to learn more about how to attract cash buyers or anything about marketing, drop them in the comments below. Happy to make more videos or point in this direction on a video that we already have.